Hi everyone, welcome to the IWC booth here at SIHH 2019. I'm here with a very important gentleman who is basically the keeper of all things historical for the brand. David, you want to introduce yourself real quick before we get into the conversation?
Oh, sure, thank you. So, welcome to the booth of IWC. My name is David Seyffer. I'm responsible for the museum and the corporate archives, and so for all these historical treasures in our collection. So I like the word keeper of the treasures. This is indeed what it is. We are taking care of over 900 historical timepieces, and I can tell you
that's amazing.
A job, you know, and I really do like it.
Excellent. So we're celebrating 80 years worth of IWC's watchmaking, particularly Pilot's watches. You want to tell me a little about that significance and how that still continues to shape IWC's watchmaking today?
Yes, you said it. I mean, it's the Pilot's watches in general are very important for IWC because we have this tradition since the year 1936. And so now 2019 we follow an approach to launch really the Spitfire Collection. You obviously see it here behind. And of course we release new Top Gun models, and we have some interesting auto-lingerie pieces with petit prince. And I mean, this is maybe only a little bit from our collection, but I think very cool models with a new kind of design, new in-house movements. And as you said, I mean, it's very important. And every launch of new Pilot's watches is very exciting for us. Keeping up, like you said, the tradition of over more than 80 years. You know?
That's excellent. So you said you'd show us a few of the historical pieces that are here that have inspired 2019's collection. But do you know why this massive plane is in the middle of the IWC booth?
Yes, we do this year the longest flight activation, and this is the airplane who will fly literally all around the world. And if you take in consideration that it is an historical plane, I mean from 1943, Matt the pilot told me that 80% of these planes are authentic from this period because it was kind of forgotten in a museum in England. And you know, flying with this historical timepiece, and you can imagine without heating system all around the world, this is really the challenge. And I mean, Spitfire, we have the collection Spitfire in the 1930s. The Spitfire plane was designed, and also the first pilot watch. So I think there is a lot of points that are matching, and I think it's a very cool activity. Not only for the watch enthusiasts, but only aviation enthusiasts.
No, it's actually really interesting the way that IWC has taken this path to inspire itself by putting itself out there and getting involved in such a manner. It's really amazing. And this massive thing that we're seeing behind us is in itself a marvel. But maybe we should move over to have a look at some historical timepieces.
Yeah, absolutely, because some of them are really inspiring for the design, and this is what makes me very proud if our creative team really looks into the past, what has happened, and makes something new out of it. And I think really some cool looking things, so really to please all the IWC fans who are really related to the heritage, but also our customers who like something new, and I think it's a good combination. But you're right, let's go over there and have a look.
Excellent. Let's.
Thank you.
Shall we?
So yes, over there. So here we are now, and you went perfectly to the best cabinet that we have here because this is all about the beginning of IWC Pilot's watch. As you see, this is the first Pilot's watch, the special watch for pilots. It was designed by request of the sons of Mr. Homberger, the former managing director and owner of IWC. And what we see here, this is a typical watch that was, you know, for private pilots, very 1930s design. You know, if you look at the numerals and a lot of luminescence material, and it was for the private pilots. Then we have the big Pilot's watch, which is very inspiring for the Pilot's collection. And from my perspective, the redesign in the year 2002, the big Pilot,
the 55 mm, yeah, that
exactly.
was amazing.
I mean, this is kind of a design icon, and this is really design follows function. It was meant to be an instrument for perfect navigation, the same as we have here, and this is the famous Mark 11. So if you name it correct, you should have you should say navigator's wristwatch Mark 11-6B46 or something else. Please excuse me if it's not wrong, but you see it's a long name. This is why IWC decided to call it Mark 11.
It's a little easier to remember.
It's a little bit easier and a very nice name. But what's very, very important, if you have a closer look on the dial, you know, I mean, this kind of setup was very inspiring for our pilot watches and today's Spitfire collection. And I think it makes sense to choose the Mark 11 design because this timepiece was over 40 years in service with the Royal Air Force, and you have the collection with the Royal Air Force Spitfire, and it's something completely new if you look in the world of Spitfire watches, because if you have a closer look here to this, two Spitfire watches from 2006 and a little bit earlier, you see it's kind of different, and so we went back with these collections to the origins of the 1940s, 1950s, and I think it was a good match. And if you look closer for all watch collectors who know a lot of authenticity, here we have an original dial from the first generation. You see the 12 on top and not the triangle. So this changed 1952, but this is really one of the first, and you see it has strong patina.
Wow, so this predates the 52. Oh wow, that's amazing.
And here, for example, we have a dial from the late 60s, a replacement dial with the encircle T, which means tritium, because the Royal Air Force or the British authorities, they decided to change from radium to deuterium. But for the collectors, very, very important. So to have the most authentic dial. So yeah, this is what we wanted to show to the customer here.
Well, that's very fun to look at some really authentic pieces. But do you want to talk us through the present day collection as well?
Yeah, if you like.
Sure.
Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Good. So, okay, you asked me about the new collection. I mean, very interesting here. You can see on the left side the Spitfire collection, and what I try to figure out, you know, now you see it in real, the new design. If you have a closer look on the dial, for example, you see this, you know, let's say the inspiration of the Mark 11.
Yeah, it's very apparent. Yeah,
wristwatches, and for the first time, and this was a kind, you know, of the idea behind the Spitfire collections, we have in-house movements only. So for the chronograph and the automatic movement, and you see here the beautiful time zone, which is very, very important, you know, for people who are traveling all over the world. And we have this since the year 1998, but now it's a new kind of time zone. And then here bronze cases. You know, we took the decision because I think this kind of color of bronze gives also this, you know, like vintage looking, and here with the brown leather straps, it looks very, very nice. And you know, if you look at this chronograph here, also with this greenish little dial, I mean, it's also from the colors here, very, very appealing. And from my perspective, it's a very, very nice pilot's watch, you know.
Well, at least for us at Revolution, that bronze and green dial combination is particularly important because we have a special watch that we've done with you this year. Okay, but we will keep that for later. Let's move on first.
Yes, and Spitfire, the Top Gun watches.
Yes.
Top Gun is, you know, we have this tradition with Top Gun since the year 2007, but before, starting in the year 1994, when the first ceramic chronograph was made. So these black IWC watches were highly appreciated.
Was that the 3705?
Exactly, the famous 3705, who did this fantastic job, you know, in the auction in December. Yes, I mean, it's good that you mentioned this, because now maybe your readers know, this is the design, and wow, if you look then at the Top Gun collection, there are no major changes.
Yeah.
I think this makes this kind of Top Gun watches so interesting, so we keep up with this black setup, and very, very new, and this is what I didn't know before. This is the Ceratanium Top Gun chronograph. and you see this kind of black, and it's a new way of ceramics. We call it ceratinium. And I didn't know, and I was told, and I was positively overwhelmed that we now can do this process in-house in our new manufacture site in Schaffhausen. And it's like you take the titanium and then you melt. It's a kind of I would say like baking bread, you know, and then it melts together, and you have the best qualities from titanium and ceramics, and at the end of the day, it's very, very scratch resistant. And yeah, I think, you know,
and just overall, it's a very beautiful stealth timepiece.
Exactly, yeah. So you can pick it, and from the proportions also, it's not too big, it's not too small.
No, it's a really nice looking watch, that's for sure.
And yeah, I think this is really, really on the top. And you know, you maybe know this tradition what we have in color with ceramic. You know, the white are very famous, and you know the black. And if you come to Schaffhausen one time, I show you some prototypes with colors. You would say, what?
Well, yeah, the Da Vinci ceramic.
Exactly. With this, we have some in Singapore, I think, when we did an exhibition once. But now here with the Mojave desert-inspired watch once again. So this is a kind of the tradition of really having these colors with ceramics. So, but I think here with this kind of color shape,
it's something perfectly. Very different.
Yeah, and it's also related, you know, to the whole Top Gun story. So I think it fits perfect into this collection.
I'd have to say it's probably the strongest collection in a while.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you know what? The reason why it probably all makes sense like this, because IWC has made the effort, with your help, of course, to keep it all historically aligned and relevant. So thank you for that, David.
Thank you, and thank you for the interview, and have fun here with the fair.
I will. It's a beautiful booth, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Cheers.